Hello, everyone. Welcome to our latest episode of That's Fair Podcasting. I am your host, Matt.
It's your boy, Big Man.
Coming back at you from the 1920s. It's your boy, Myles.
And today, actually, on a serious note, we're going to talk about the very sad story of Jeralee Underwood, an 11-year-old who was abducted, and some other things that I will get into. Very, very sad story out of Pocatello, Idaho. So stay tuned. Yeah, and this is one. If you go to Hulu, you can either Hulu or Max. I don't know.
I got both.
We're watching these sad stories. I forgot what they're called. I can look it up and tell you guys. I know that's very informative.
Something like Mysteries of the Unknown.
No,
Unsolved Mysteries.
we started one trigger warning. We watched one called Murdered at First Sight. That sounds lovely. But then we watched another one. These are screwed up, but this is the very, very sad story of 11-year-old Jeralee Underwood out of Pocatello, Idaho. She was born on,
I was just about to ask, how long ago was this?
Yeah, she was born January 9th of 1982. So this was a 1993 situation.
I wasn't even a sperm cell yet.
Matt was probably like 60.
Yeah.
65. Actually, 65. You're close. You were very good. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Dusty old man.
Thanks, man. She was the second child. She was born 5 weeks premature. Her mother, Joyce, would always say, though, that she always felt that she was born premature, wanted to get here because she knew she'd have a short life. So she just wanted to get here quicker, straight from the mother, Joyce. And her father's name was Jeff. So it was Joyce and Jeff Underwood. And you had a very happy child. She was very, very charitable, always wanted to help people, always smiling, they said. I mean, legitimately, you always hear of the greatest ones. And if you find anything in there, chime in.
Yeah.
I'm serious. But
Chime on, brother.
They always, they hype them up, but they want, the stories, the way they work, they want you to really get into the person. And then when you hear what happens, then you can be really pissed off. This is really one of those that really holds a lot of merit, though.
Okay.
It's a lot to me like Sylvia Likens or Shanda Cher that we've discussed before.
I'm going to try to contain my emotions a little bit better this time.
Yeah, this is, and by the way, I just want to say, I'll give him his name a couple of times, the guy who's guilty of this, but he's a piece of shit. I mean, he's just a scumbag piece of shit.
These ones just they're just awful, dude.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard to talk about. It's hard to
I haven't put it out yet, but you know how we were talking about that prison reform and uploading?
Yeah.
This piece of shit died in prison. Yeah. But
bummer.
I would like to have him witness this.
Gone through the whole prison reform inside of the relive their fears and memories for your entire sentence.
But this little girl she even took up a paper route, her and her brother. She's trying to earn extra money, and they lived in a good neighborhood in Pocatello where a lot of people really knew each other. I mean, this is the 90s, but it was a lot safer than, I guess now. You can't leave your door unlocked.
It's safer now?
No, it's a lot safer than it is now. You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense.
I mean, I feel a little bit safer now because I got that blicky, you know what I'm saying?
Sticky blicky.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, for the older generation, that is a firearm.
They don't know I know this trick. I have a gun.
Wizardry 101, my brother.
Okay. Anyway, Tuesday, 29th of June. It was Tuesday the 29th of June, 1993. Jeralee was last seen at dinner time when her father basically said the usual, okay, I love you, and I'll see you in a little bit. She was going out on a paper route. She was seen by neighbors. Jeralee, they watched her get into someone's car.
Oh, shit.
Well, one witness said they thought that she was getting in the car. However, an elderly woman who was paying for her subscription to the newspaper paid Jeralee and then watched her go outside and get forced into this car.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And it's like it was a late 80s sedan, like an Oldsmobile type shit. You know, it had like a dark top, cream colored, you know, just reeked of scumbagginess.
So I know this might be a weird question to ask in this time frame and like on this subject, but when did window tint become a thing?
Because that's not a bad question. Yeah,
you had to have imagined that like it was probably a little bit harder to like kidnap kids.
I mean, probably in the 80s. I don't quote me on that. You look
like
at that
at the
shit
same
up,
time. At the same time, though, like obviously, I don't think they had Amber Alerts and shit around that time.
No, the Amber Alert didn't come out till what, the late 90s. I don't.
Yeah, and like people didn't have cell phones and shit, so it's not like they could have just been alerted about the whole situation. But I'm just curious because it's like if you're doing this in broad daylight. And like you just have, if you have like a panel van, then yeah.
But if you have some guy just passing through, I mean, this is before. I mean, all forensics and shit were in their baby steps anyway. So you can still get away with shite more than you could now. I mean,
oh no, and I get that 100%. That's why like the mafia and everything like that could run rampant and be like,
started as early as the 40s to the 60s was like first major usages.
Really, of window tint on
like
cars.
So like mid 50s, pretty much.
So I'd imagine I'd imagine that was probably a thing for like high profile people around that time.
Yeah,
probably.
I'm
sure it wasn't a very.
That's probably like why early like 80s and 90s are like, oh, that's illegal, fucking
right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking is like when did it become available to the public?
Yeah,
per se, like truly available to.
But while you're looking that up, Jeralee's parents, Joyce and Jeff. They also really implemented the whole stranger danger thing to their kids. So she would have had to have been forced.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Her and her brother, I mean, it was like, don't talk to strangers, man. It was like, they beat it into their heads. And, you had some very good kids, very well-raised kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell Joyce and Jeff, man, they were parenting correctly. Yeah. Anyway, it was a rainy day that day, but it eventually would clear up in the evening time. And, Jeralee had also got back from a dentist appointment. And anyway, she wanted to hurry back because she really wanted to get that paper route. She was really adamant on getting that paper route done, which unfortunately, I wish she would have missed that one,
Yeah.
Go ahead. Do you have something?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
It's all good. It's not that important of a detail, so it's all good.
Around 6, people would approach Joyce at her home. She was doing some gardening shit. And they said that they had seen Jeralee get into a car. This person said she got in the car. She didn't say she was forced. However,
it's probably a telephone game situation.
Right. But
elderly neighbor probably told the next neighbor what happened. The next neighbor told the next neighbor what happened.
It filters.
Yeah.
Well, and then, but Joyce's first thought, and so was this neighbor, well, she may just be getting a ride home because a lot of people gave her rides home. She usually took her bike. But this time she didn't. Her tire was flat. She didn't want to wait on that. Her mom was trying to fix it. She goes, Mom, I'm just going to go get this paper done. So she did it by foot and alone.
Yeah. I mean, but you don't think about your kid going out to do something and thinking the worst,
No, you don't. And she'd already done this paper out for a while. So I mean, it was like, and
they trusted the situations
and the neighborhood. I mean, and why not? I mean. Anyway, so it was common for like some of the neighbors that she knew that paid for this subscription to give her a ride home. And anyway, so they would decide to start retracing her route and stuff just to be safe because she didn't come back yet. And then other witnesses started coming forward saying, look, we know you're looking for her. We saw her. She was forced into the car. They're literally starting to say that she was forced into the car. So then by then the police were called. And this wasn't that long after 6. Anyway, she was abducted on the west side of Pocatello in a residential area. And like I said, I told you about the elderly woman, but they were able to describe him as a white male, 5'7", with a plaid shirt and a cap. And even the local...
Don't look at me, dude.
5'7"? That's giving you too much credit.
Yeah,
sorry.
you're a little fucking high. You're safe.
Yeah, but Mark looked at me like I was that tall, and I'm not, so,
I'm not even 5'7". I'm 5'6.5".
I like to say I'm 5'9", but... I'm lying.
Even the local church, the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, began helping. And then a massive manhunt would ensue. Even the vehicle description started coming out, which I already described. Okay. James Edward Wood. He was born 12/9 of 1947.
Sorry, I'm just like,
He's a piece of shit.
No, I know. I'm just really shocked that the LDS got involved.
Well, I don't know if they were members of the church or not, but they knew her.
Okay.
They knew Jeralee, and they really, they cared for her. I mean, it was a pretty tight knit community.
I'm not saying that like there's like a major issue with LDS, but like I've lived in Utah. I know some shady shit about the LDS, so I'm just like, it's just weird that they're involved in helping with this.
This was in the 90s. Maybe it was a different mindset.
Yeah, true. Who knows?
I don't know, but I know the LDS is looked at like a major cult. So, anyways,
most religions are cults, man.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry.
Anyways, my bad.
There's a higher power at some point. It's a cult.
Anyway, trigger warning. This piece of shit was a serial rapist from Florida. He was in and out of jail with battery charges, robbery. He even robbed a pizzeria in Baton Rouge. He, trigger warning, raped a woman in Louisiana after he just married another woman. He would marry Yvonne and have a son in 1987. This piece of shit found odd jobs between 1986 and 1992. And then he moved to Grand Cane, Louisiana, but he had to flee immediately as he was reported for, trigger warning, raping his 14-year-old relative of his wife.
Wow.
So the piece of shit would move to Idaho.
Literally.
It's people like this that deserve to be skinned alive.
Yeah,
But like, given enough, just enough, like painkillers and like numbing, just enough to keep them alive. Not enough to not feel the pain, but just enough to keep them alive. So that way their adrenaline doesn't spike too high. Anyways.
No. And here's what's fucked up. On his way to Idaho, where he had relatives, this piece of shit, and look, this piece of shit.
Solid note, yeah.
Kidnapped an 18-year-old named Jamie Massengill in October of 1992 in St. Louis, Missouri. He, trigger warning, raped her and shot Jamie in the head, but she survived.
Holy shit.
He would arrive in Idaho in November. Now, ultimately they would find out he lured Jeralee into his car. Okay. He would take her to a secluded area. I've skipped a lot, but
Yeah.
Okay.
And he would shoot her in the back of the head, and for a week he would continually, trigger warning, rape her body.
And she survived.
No.
Oh, different girl.
Yeah.
No, this is the same girl, Jeralee. He took her. He lured her into his car.
This isn't the girl. This isn't the girl that lived.
That's a different girl.
Okay, sorry, I didn't realize.
No. We had jumped back in, and I said that he had finally arrived into Idaho after doing that in November.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's okay. That. And he would defile her corpse sexually.
What a pile of shit.
He even went as far when he was finally done. He cut her feminine parts from her body.
What the?
Yeah. Oh no, this guy is just a
dude had some fucking problems.
Piece of shit. And on July 7th, he would finally be arrested.
Problem was he made it past being a fucking cell, dude.
Yeah.
He'd finally be arrested July 7th. And due to the severity of the entire crime, he had 12 charges pending against him just for this one.
Yeah, I know that we've talked about like not condoning violence or anything like that, but seriously, like people like this deserve.
Oh yeah, no, to me it's okay to condone violence on these people.
Yeah, like to a certain point, like yeah, you can have forgiveness, but there's no forgiveness for this.
Hell no.
None whatsoever. People like this deserve to be fucking meat hooked.
Yeah.
And fucking.
And I don't go into all the details, but I like to go into some details because I know it angers you. Yeah. It angers you, sickens us, and anyone listening, it angers them. But to me, when you anger people by talking about the details, it raises the awareness of the situation. And
that's why right now, like I'm pretty happy about this movement where people are going out of their way, because the most counties and like just most states in general, and California being like. Don't get me wrong, California has a lot of good people in that state, but just because the way it's ran by their governor, it's a shit state with their policies. Okay, mm-hmm. So there's really truly like, I'm not trying to go on this rant here. But you really don't
understand about California? What? I'm sorry, but this is on California, and I'm not dogging them. I don't understand it. California did away with the death penalty for the Manson murderers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So they were on death row back then, but then in like 1972 or 73, they did away with the death penalty, so these people did life in prison, and one of those pieces of shit is out now. But
how is that possible?
I don't know, but now they have the death penalty again.
Yeah, I don't understand California.
Really?
But like,
Yes.
I don't understand their policies. But the fact that like most child rapists and like child predators.
Trigger warning.
Sorry. Yeah. Most of these predators, even if they're just like texting little girls online, knowing that they're younger girls, knowing that they're underage. There's this huge movement out right now. Like the U.S. is literally in its vigilante stage right now. Like there are people going out tracking down these pedophiles and smacking the shit out of them. Like
Myles was saying that's I got like a good week's worth of like memes from Myles.
Of just people getting smacked the
just
fuck up.
hunting down like.
I mean, castrate them with no numbing. I mean, dude, seriously.
Like most of these people deserve to get the absolute shit beat out of them. I am sorry,
worse.
But like if
worse.
Oh yeah, but to a certain point, I'm not telling anybody to go out there and beat the shit out of these people. But what I'm telling you is they deserve it.
Yes.
But I'm also telling you, if you guys are one of those people that go out and do this, do yourself a favor, contain your shit, because you don't need to end up in jail for this piece of shit.
Yeah, literally. Too much. Literally.
All right, like there was some pedophile that got his face fucking curb stomped, well deserved. But at the same time, homeboy that curb stomped him,
his foot slipped.
You are literally like, dude, you are probably going to be facing murder, like attempted murder charges.
Yeah, literally.
I was just trying to see if my size 9.5 was bigger than his head. What the fuck?
But like, no, it's like, dude, like, smack him up, maybe spend a day in jail, whatever. But don't get an attempted murder or murder charge, all right, over this shit.
But like, let's say someone's listening and something happens to his child, and he gets his hands on him.
Oh, dude, do whatever you feel is necessary at that point.
Because I got to tell you, it's protect the kids at all costs, man. It's there's nothing more important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, she was 11 fucking years old.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the terror that went through her knowing.
Yeah, without a fucking doubt. Like, seriously, like people like this do not deserve to just like have it ended. You know what I mean?
Yeah, literally.
They deserve to feel pain. They deserve to feel fear. They deserve
all
to
amount
feel
of suffer.
Everything.
This piece of shit would even confess to a 1976 trigger warning rape and murder of Shirley Coleman in Louisiana. And in September, his trial, he pled guilty to the Jeralee murder. And he was sentenced to death. But look, the piece of shit died in prison in Kuna Correctional Facility of natural causes on February 1st of 2004.
So he's from Kuna, or he died in Kuna.
Yes,
right.
So that's where my little brother played baseball before he went off to college.
And now that we have an open discussion, I just want to say rest in peace to the sweet Jeralee Underwood.
Yeah, absolutely, rest in peace. And rest in peace to all the other girls.
Yeah,
absolutely. And you know me, I always give the rest in peace. Yeah. But with this specific story about being Jeralee, I mean, they all deserve a rest in peace. But this one,
these stories just bum me the fuck out, dude. They just bum me the fuck out.
But you know what? Like, I guess I choose them because I want them to still be remembered.
Yeah. And that's the main reason why I don't mind actually getting into it.
It's remembering.
You know what goes through a motherfucker's brain.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like, don't get
hopefully a bullet.
Like we all have some pretty big intrusive thoughts throughout our lives, right? But like, what in the fuck?
Yeah,
what in the fuck, dude?
Who's the? Oh man, he's the comedian that went off on like all the fucking celebrities. They're like, oh, like if ISIS started a streaming.
Ricky Gervais.
Yeah,
Ricky Gervais. He says this quote, right, and like this girl is asking him about like law and shit like that, and it's like I can't remember what the entire standpoint was or what the whole argument was about the whole thing. And he's like, what people don't understand is that, like, he goes, I, trigger warning, rape and kill and stab and hurt as many people as I want. He goes, here's the fucking thing. I don't want to do that. So I do as much as I want on an everyday basis, which is fucking none. He's like, that's what you don't understand is, like, people know what's right and wrong. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, we know that it's like people are capable of it, but we know that none of us want to fucking do it. None of us want it done. Nobody wants to see it done.
But Bingham said it best, man. We all have intrusive thoughts. We all do. Like, I was watching something where someone was talking about having an intrusive thought. He goes, I was driving down the street and I was looking at this person and I thought, what would it be like just to run him the fuck over? And it's terrible.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
And this is what I've told people for the longest time, right? There is only two things on this planet that humans are truly capable of doing. And that's procreation and war. That is it. Mm-hmm. Those are the two things we're most capable of. And I'm not just meaning war in general. I mean just
you mean natural fight or flight, like war in some kind of sense or another.
Yes. Yeah, like basically that's all we're.
But don't you think that intrusive thoughts are actually good for your psyche because it helps keep you sane and not do it.
Yeah.
Because when you're saying it to yourself, your alter ego is like, "What the fuck are you thinking about?"
Yeah. Here's the like somebody puts you in check here, right? Okay, so like this is something that I always thought was weird, right? So like if that inner voice is you talking to yourself, right? Okay. Who's the one listening?
You.
I know, but like
obviously you because you don't act on it. What
but
like, saying?
But okay, but like you, how many times have you had a whole ass conversation?
Wait.
How many times have you had a whole ass conversation in your head, and you're like. And even sometimes you're like, you can do it in a different voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you had a whole ass conversation?
You become conscious of it, too. Like, why the fuck did I use a different voice now?
Or like sometimes you're just like, why am I even having this conversation with myself? Yeah. I'm having a whole ass conversation with myself in my head. And it's like, who's listening? Why are they responding?
Because, like, technically, like, that, I feel like the inner you is, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like, the outside you is, like, you as well, obviously.
Here's my craziest theory on this, all right? I know this is a little bit trailed off. Right, but like, you know how people say that they're connected to their past lives?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What if you're having internal discussions with like
your past
some people say you were born with an old spirit, right? Yeah. You can typically tell when somebody's a new spirit, right? Like you meet them, like you've met people that like they don't give a shit about classic music. They don't care about the oldies. They don't care about
history. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Then I am just as boring in my past life as I am fucking right now.
So that's the thing, though. Is like, well, maybe Matt was a new spirit that, like, you know, or like.
I'm in my fourth life. If you do the numerical chart, I'm in my fourth life.
Yeah. So like, I don't know which one I would be on, but like, could you imagine if you were just like having conflicting conversations with your past lives or your past conscious?
I call it writing, okay? Because one of these days, I'm actually going to get off my ass and start publishing some of the stuff that I write.
Oh, you need to.
But the thing is, I'll have conversations. Some people will walk in literally catching me talking to myself, but I'm not literally talking to myself. I'm just talking out loud some ideas to write in the book, and people are like, the fuck?
Nah, bro, I be talking to myself sometimes.
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
even
all
lying.
the time. Like
like being in that shop by myself. Not gonna lie, dude. Like I catch myself speaking too loud. Where I'm like, bro, if somebody walked in right now, like they think I'm fucking crazy, bro.
Dude, like no shit. Okay, like I was working underneath a car, and I was trying to do something. And this was at a different shop, all right? So this wasn't recent. But like
I was like
so I was working underneath the shit, and I think I was just trying to fucking get this bolt to line up or something. And I realized that like literally all I had to do was like push the opposite. I was trying to move something that was immovable, and I was instead of just going to the other side and just adjusting it with my other hand. And I told myself verbally, I was like, God, I'm fucking stupid. And then like I responded to myself and was like, no, you're not. You just had a dumb moment, right? Like, come on.
But let me ask something.
Like, but I'm trying not to talk myself down. Yeah. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to be better about not talking down to myself.
But let me ask something just to kind of get back on point.
Yeah, sorry. We bought it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't remember. Again, I don't remember what it's called. I don't even know if it's on Hulu or Max.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is we watch these all the time, and every time it has to do with a child, it's like me and Mandy will watch a string of them at night.
Yeah.
And then like we'll watch like usually 4 to 5 a night. Like that fills our evenings. I'm even doing that now over playing video games. You believe that? I know. But like I'm watching 4 to 5 of them a night with Mandy. And then
dark nights to have.
Maybe like 3 or 4. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Either way, long story short.
Yeah.
But like if the first one is about a child, like sometimes we will just be done watching.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, it's just like that one puts you down. Like
exactly. Like
nobody like ruins the whole mood.
Nobody wants it. Like nobody wants
like respectfully, obviously.
Person. I mean, okay, nobody in this world is innocent. We've all done wrong, all right?
Oh, yeah.
The only people that are innocent are typically infants, right? Infants and young children, even to a certain point. Once the kids hit, like, their terrible twos, then they can be little shits.
Like
right?
Stewie?
So, like, yeah.
Weird.
But no, anyways, nobody wants to hear even about a good person being hurt. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, people, like, if you have empathy, you feel bad for people getting hurt. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't say that I'm, like, because I support hunting and I support, like, I eat meat and shit like that. But at the same time, I think at the same time, if something's not bothering you, why fucking kill it, right?
Sure.
So, but unless you're benefiting in some type of way,
whether it's like survival or fucking whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So like seriously though, like there was this hideous looking spider on that van that I was working on, that big white spider, and everybody.
Did you always go back to work for some reason?
You ever notice that? Fire, bro.
Doesn't you always go back to work when it comes to conversations? Though?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you love your job.
Fair. That's all. That's all we fucking have right now, dude.
But like, I literally grabbed a spider off the fucking shit and I took him outside, put him in the grass. I'm like, he wasn't.
Oh, we did that all the time. We did that all the time.
No.
I'm like, dude, nothing. That spider did nothing wrong, right? Like, and every time I see a cockroach, everyone's like, "Oh, cockroaches are so fucking gross." I'm like, yeah, they may be fucking gross to us, dude. Right? But have you, like,
if I can't immediately save them, I'm going to kill them.
I just want to
say
I can't,
that,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm just saying, if Joyce and Jeff Underwood ever were to hear this, I'm so sorry we brought up cockroaches in the segment on Jeralee Underwood.
Yeah,
we trail off, and that's all.
Well, I was gonna bring up the cockroach in a good light. We've seen Wall-E.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think of the cockroach every time I look at a cockroach. I think of the one from Wall-E.
Life
but don't you think sometimes a cockroach is okay? They survived a fucking nuclear war if they wanted.
No, that's why they have to die, bro. That shit ain't right.
I mean, rad roaches.
That doesn't sit right with me.
But like you were talking about, though, the Code of Bushido will state the first thing that states in the Code of Bushido, the Japanese samurai, be kind and respectful to all living things.
Yeah,
and I mean it's just part of
I seriously will not go out of my way just to kill something if it's not bothering me.
Yeah.
Right. Like, obviously, if I got a spider crawling up my chest and it scares the shit out of me, I'm like,
death on site.
Sorry, dude, you were in my personal space.
Yeah, true. It's not like I'm gonna go hunting bees today.
But let me ask you something.
You know, like,
I'm not gonna say the piece of shit's name anymore because it doesn't deserve it.
No.
But I mean, we're talking about how we all have intrusive thoughts and we're all scared of it. We all have that darkness in our minds. It's just that we all know when to, like, the majority of us know when to cut it off.
Does this make sense where you can, like, I don't know if you guys have done this or not, where like you have the intrusive thought, right? Like driving home from work, whatever, you see that person, you're like, oh yeah, I can just hit them or whatever, right?
I think about that.
Do you play it through your mind?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes. Like I feel like you'd have to see it through. I feel like you'd have to like see it through almost to like not do it. You know what I mean?
And I think that's what helps keep your sanity.
Yeah, because there's people who will be like, no, I'm going to do it. And then they just do it. They like lack the ability to comprehend even not doing it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, don't get me wrong, there's been a few times, and I know this might be a little fucked up to say, but like, I've looked at a pole and I'm like, make it look like
an accident.
And then like the next thing I think of is like, I got a couple people that know it wouldn't have been an accident, you know? And so it's like, but I'm avoiding that intrusion. Don't look at me like that, all right?
No, I don't think like that. I love myself way too fucking much for that.
I don't know. I think I got a lot of issues to work through. So
no, stop.
But like, no, on a real note though, like, yeah, no, I completely understand an intrusive thought because there's been plenty of times. Trust me, I'm just I've driven the monument. All right, you think I haven't just been like,
but
like, you know what I mean?
You get like one peak, you're like, oh,
you're like, I could just tumble down that bitch. And nobody would know.
There's a big difference though between just intrusive thoughts and being a fucking sociopath.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
And this guy, this piece of shit, he was connected to more murders than just that. They think that he was connected to quite a bit.
Yeah, when you're
that, like, I wouldn't really say like open, but I would say when you're that careless, with what you're doing. I mean, like, he's literally like, I mean, I understand that like they didn't have very much for forensics and shit back then, but when you're that,
like I said, it was in the baby steps, but yeah.
But when you're that careless, period, like, I wouldn't doubt he was involved in more.
Oh, 100, you have to be
without a doubt.
He was.
Well,
they were saying even on that show that they think it could be upwards to like a couple of dozen, maybe.
Well, think about it. He's on death row or whatever the fuck, right? And like he's sitting there because it said that he confessed after like he was already sentenced.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he found like everybody found out like about the previous ones, and so he's on death row or whatever, you know. And then it's like,
but he's fucking dead now.
But it's like what did he have to lose almost? So he started like telling on himself. But those are like the only ones he can remember with his fucked up ass head, bro.
He already had
like,
you
know what I mean? Like
3 hots and a cot, dude. Yeah. He had nothing else to lose.
Literally.
So
yeah, but Bundy was trying to use that to stay alive and stay off death row. Okay, I'll give you every so often. I'll keep giving you locations.
No, this guy spilled his fucking beans and I left the chat, bro. Like,
you know what I like about Japan and their death row? Do you know that they do not notify the inmates when they're on death row what their day was?
Oh yeah, you just wake up one day and it's your day.
Yeah.
Like
fair.
Scared.
It reminds me of this.
Think about it. Like,
it reminds me of this YouTube story called "Tomorrow is Canceled." Like, tomorrow is canceled, and it's very interesting. It's very interesting. It's like these people live in a giant, in almost like it's like a Truman Show type of shit.
It's like a simulation. Yeah.
But like it tells you from like start to finish how your day is gonna go, and like, if you don't have an assignment for the next day, it just pops up on your screen that tomorrow is canceled and you know you're dying tomorrow. or in your sleep,
or by the end of the day that
but
day.
I would go in Japan. I would go total Negan. I'd walk up because if you get that knock in the morning, you're up, and I go. This is his quote. I hope you brought your shitting pants because you're about to shit your pants.
Dude, I keep seeing all these like new clips of like because they're still expanding with The Walking Dead. You know,
fuck.
There's so many new scenes with Negan being old Negan, bro. And I'm so that's what makes me want to like get back into it again.
I can tell you confidently, I have not watched an entire episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh, dude.
Well, excuse the shit out of me. Pardon my goddamn French, but did you just threaten me?
Did you see it?
So the scene I don't know if this had to have been like an earlier season, like when you first meet Negan, but him and what's his nuts, Rick are fighting or whatever, and like he doesn't have any more guns on him. He's like, looks like you're out of weapons or something like that, and fucking Rick like takes out this axe and just like chucks it at him. Well, the camera was like so shoddy, bro, right? He's like on top of this balcony, like in front of these stairs, and he chucks it and he like dives out of the way and then ends up like falling off the fucking balcony or whatever.
Dude, Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Dude, he's
dude. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was the only reason that show survived. But like,
it's true.
Okay, we are super off topic.
We're gonna wrap
this. Yeah, we should
wrap
this.
It's time anyway.
A little too much.
It's time anyway. But anyway, look, yeah, I mean, but it is about, intrusive thoughts and, the darkness of our mind. But I think that, this podcast, we trail off, but, we lose perspective a lot of ways. But let's never forget people like Jeralee Underwood, man.
Yeah, and I feel like us trailing off on subjects like this, I feel like we trail off the hardest on some subjects like this because we just don't want to think about it.
It diverts our minds because it really fucked me and Mandy up when we watched it too. So rest in peace to Jeralee Underwood, and I hope that Joyce and Jeff and the other one, their son, is still doing well to this day. So anyway, on a serious note, I guys am outro.
Adios.
That's about it, and stay classy, San Diego.